So I'm changing the way that we phrase our aims. They're going to be phrased now in the form of a question. So today we're going to try and figure out, well, if you're given an equation, how do you determine the domain? Part one. All right, so these are all multiple choice questions. What is the domain of f of x if of f of x equaling 2 to the x? And some people are like, what the hell is that f of x business, right? What is that? Son, who said that? Somebody say that? That Coleman, that's exactly what you said in your mind? Yeah, okay, all right. So here's what we're going to do. Here's what we're going to do. This f of x is called function notation. It was invented by a man named Leibniz. Yeah, very famous people. These are like my heroes, / Newton. Newton also tried to claim credit for it, I think. In any event, they invented it when they invented calculus because it helped them keep track of stuff. For your purposes, for right now, anytime you see this, okay, this doesn't mean multiply x by f. I know that's messed up because all your life you've been taught wherever you see a parentheses, you distribute that f in. Don't do that, okay? Wherever you see this for today, okay, all I want you to do is think of it as y equals, all right? You got it? And then on Monday, I'm going to show you how it really kind of works. But let's just get used to the notation. So this business right here, oh, it looks real messed up. You could just rewrite it like this. Is that better? Okay, but you understand that I can now give you either one, and you would know what to do with it. True? Okay. Good. Good. Really good. So here we go. So what's the domain of that thing? Yeah, it's all the real numbers. There's nothing that really stops you. There's no restrictions. And the only thing that you really have to worry about where there are restrictions are, is there a fraction involved? Is there a square root involved? Then you are pretty much good to go. All real numbers. Nice. Let's play again. Maybe we'll get through all your work for today. Maybe we'll do maybe we'll even get to that second sheet. Yes. Yes. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Oh, man. We got a radical. And we got nonsense underneath the radical. What was I thinking? So let me just take this, and I'm going to write this down. I'm going to write this down. And so this is what you were given, and some people don't understand that, so what were we going to do? We're going to rewrite it like this. Same thing, same thing. Same thing. Right? Okay, so now we have to think to ourselves, self, what do we do? And so at this point in time, I'm going to take some notes on the problem, right? We got a square root. So what does that mean? Are there any restrictions? Yeah, so here's what I'm going to write. Stuff under square root must be greater than or equal to 0. And somebody was asking me, why do you put that dot there? Does anybody know why I put this like little dot there? It's a bullet point. Because you know, I'm like anal retentive about taking notes and writing things down and then, what's up? But so now we're going to say, oh, okay, this problem really isn't that hard. Just take the stuff underneath the radical, set it greater than or equal to 0, solve it. I didn't know. Did that come from? What is going on here? Okay. So this is the answer. So let's do this, and we're good. We decided to start skipping around because some problems were harder than others, and so we skipped to number 4. Ay, Dios mío. We've got this business, and then we got something tacked on to the end, right? So we're just going to translate this back. This is function notation on top. By the way, anytime you see function notation like this, guess what it means? Nope. It means it's a function. Anytime you see notation like this, it means it will always pass the vertical line test. All right? Kind of gives it away. It's like the jig is up. All right. X minus 2 plus 3. Now let's check this out, right? Let's check this out. What are we going to do next? So what are we going to do next? Well, do you think this makes a difference for the domain? That negative 3 at the end? No, it's we talked about it yesterday. It starts with a D. It's a distraction. It's a distractor. The only thing that really restricts the domain is this business right here. And what do we know about square roots? Stuff underneath the square roots at this point? Yeah, stuff underneath the square root's got to be greater than or equal to 0, okay? So what you do is you say x minus 2 has got to be greater than or equal to 0. You add 2 to both sides. Let's cross that off. X has got to be greater than or equal to 2. And therefore, which one of the choices is it? So you can also see where the notation that we've been talking about comes in. You've got to be able to recognize this. Yeah, it is choice 3. Back to recording. Here we go. Here we go. For anybody that just stepped in the room, you know, we talked about this. This is some funny looking notation. We're going to talk about it more on Monday. The only thing you really need to know for now, though, is anytime you see this f of x business, it's the same thing as saying y. So if you're confused by it, just rewrite the entire problem with a y in the beginning. And then it's just like stuff we've done. Okay. Now, I wrote this in the notes yesterday, but I want to try and change the way that we talk about it, right? It's a fraction you've got. So what can't the denominator be? Yeah, the denominator, this in the bottom, okay, can't be 0 because of the fraction, right? Can't be 0 because of the fraction, but then we have one extra added restriction. What's the extra added restriction? One. Yeah, the square root, right? Let me put my bullet points in. Square root. So not only can it be 0, but it has to be what? Yeah, square root. So stuff under. So stuff underneath has to be greater than or equal to 0, right? And now here's where people got confused. Here's where people got confused when I was writing it on when I was looking through my video on the internet. Do you see this business over here? So people got confused because here it is in the top. I said it can't be 0, and then I wrote this symbol. And all I was doing was trying to distinguish the fact that first I tried to attack the fraction, and then I tried to attack it from it just being a radical. And then the final answer is the combination of the two. So you know that this business under here, x plus 1, because it can't be 0 and because it has to be greater than or equal to 0, it's got to be greater than 0. And then you just solve it. Does that make sense? That's a lot of me talking. I know. A lot of me talking, but from here on out, I'm going to try and be more quiet. I know it sounds like an impossible task, but I can do it. So it is choice 4.
This is Daniel Skupta, doing number 14. So you have add 2x minus 1, and you have to find the domain. So you do 2x minus 1 is greater than 0. And then you add 1 to both sides. You have 1, so you have 2x is greater than 1. And then you divide by 2 on both sides. So you have 2. What the? So you have x is greater than a half. And so you know your answer is 4.
Very nice. Very nice. Oh. All right. Really hard problem. Really hard problem. Once again, we're going to take this h of x, and we could use anything. It could be z of x. It could be t of x. All right. And we're going to make it so that we recognize it. Some people still get confused. We're going to rewrite this as y. So it's y equals x squared minus 4x. Whoa. Minus 5. I can't do that. You know that. I can't do that. That's horrible. That's horrible. Nope. It was ugly looking. Okay. So here's the deal. We got a square root. We got a radical. So that means there's a restriction. What's the restriction? It can't be less than 0. This stuff underneath here, because of the radical, because of the square root, the stuff underneath it has to be greater than or equal to 0. It's got to be greater than or equal to 0. So here we go. We did this about a month ago. It was under a topic called Quadratic Inequalities. It's also a question on your take-home quiz. Not this same one, but something like it, right? Here's what we're going to do. Now, you could solve it the algebraic way, right? But I'm going to show you how to do this real fast in your calculator because I don't want you wasting time on your test. Here we do. Everybody hit the y equals button. Hit that y equals button. X squared minus 4x minus 5. Now we're going to go, in order to find this inequality symbol, you go down to second math. Whoops. Up. My calculator's having technical difficulties. Second math. Find the symbol that you're looking for. Hit enter. Ah, boo. My calculator's having, it's okay. Happens to the best of us. Second math, scroll down to 4 and 0. So we just entered in what it is that what we found, and then you hit the graph button, and there it is. The calculator will calculate the answer. Hence the name calculator. Okay, it does calculations, exactly. So now we're going to take our calculator, we're going to position it in the middle right there. Which one of the multiple choice answers is it? Well, we could immediately cross off 3, and we could immediately cross off 4, because when the answers for x are not in the middle. They're outwards. Okay? If you were to describe 3 and 4 using logic, 3 and 4 are and statements. Whenever you get a picture in your calculator that looks like a pair of arms, that's an or statement. So which one are we talking about? Is it 1 or is it 2? Louder. Okay, good. Yeah, it's choice 2.